the listeners exactly what soccer resilience is. So if I'm a kid, if I'm an ECNL kid, if I'm a professional, if I'm a wash up, what is it exactly?
If I'm a fan listening and about to throw that follow on Instagram,
Yeah.
inform us.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Please follow us on social. We have a
Yes.
ton of really cool information.
Great follow. Me and Joe can
Mhm.
attest. Great
Oh,
follow.
well, thank you.
Yes, love
appreciate
it.
that. That's Wells Thompson and John Blake. They are the social media ninjas. They're awesome. They do a great job. So what soccer resilience is, and really the name kind of gives you a clue, right? So we really want to help you on the field. We want to help you gain that confidence, help you get more fulfillment, and we want you to perform, at the way we know you can. That's a big part of what we do. We also are going to weave in ways to help you be resilient, not only on the field, kind of managing those challenges, but also off the field. And that's a huge focus of what we do. One of our core beliefs is it's more than an athlete. It's want to service the whole player in a holistic way. And so if anybody's interested in our services, we work with youth teams, we work with college teams. In the pro game now, we're going to be the sports mindset advisors for the USLW League, which we're super pumped about next year.
Saw that.
And we are the NWSLPA sports mindset advisors. We actually had our first training session. We're doing that free for each team with Kansas City last week, which is just super cool. Just trying to put resources in front of people to help them to learn. So we kind of, our main services is, well, I guess our foundation is we really have 4 pillars of soccer resilience that sort of, this is going to help you kind of what you can get from working with us. And one of that is that ability to kind of take control. That first pillar we call take control. It's really in kind of 2 parts. The first part's your mind. We really want to help you with the mindset, understand how the brain has a negative bias. It's going to take us to negative places. So just a quick question. Do you guys know what percentage of the daily thoughts are negative? The average person, the average day, what percent of negative thoughts?
Joe, you go first.
Negative?
Joe, go first, then I'll go, and I want to see who's closer.
Thoughts. I'm gonna say like 70%.
Okay, got a guess for today. All right,
I'm
Tina,
gonna
what do you think?
say,
Yeah.
Price is right, higher or lower?
I'm gonna go higher. I think it's like closer to 80.
Ooh, Tina, yes, you get the gold star.
Yeah.
It's 80.
80.
So just think about that for a second. 80% of our daily thoughts. I'm not even talking about a really hard, difficult day like you're having, Tina, before we got on the call, right? It's like just the average day.
Everyone, I'm having washer dryer issues. If anyone wants to know about them.
Yeah, so it's 80%, right? So imagine it's a really hard day. So a huge part of is self-awareness. Self-awareness is 50% of change. And it's because it's really hard. There are a ton of stuff I don't notice. As a psychologist, I should notice way more than
this is why, Dr. Miller, this is why I buy my tissues at Trader Joe's. I'm there when you're sad.
There you go. That's awesome.
This is positive notes to myself because apparently 80% of my day is me saying negative things. Tissues remind me. Anyway.
Yeah, and we do, right? So just knowing that is so huge. So we help players understand how the brain works, the mind works, why it steers us to the negative so much. And then, of course, playing soccer. Well, I mean, you both know as players, it's not hard to imagine where the brain can take us. Worrying about the things that
a deep dark hole.
Totally, right? It's
Always.
like, you guys ever had that experience where it's like 5 things go well and maybe 1 or 2 don't, and it's after the game you're walking off and your brain just keeps replaying.
Oh yeah.
Go well.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's why, like, for me, when I was playing even in college, like, I had to immediately watch the game after in order to, like, kind of recorrect some of the things, mental images that I had in my mind. So I'd be like, okay, you didn't have 18 incomplete passes. You're just like replaying 1 or 2 of them in your head. So by visually seeing it, it allowed me to be like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Like, calm down.
That is an awesome strategy. I really like that. That's a great one. And so, that's really a lot of what is in that first step, take control, right? Just understanding our negative thoughts, prone to go there. And then how do we steer our mind, right? Kind of more that resilient mindset, that growth mindset, that kind of process focus. So then we say, okay, and then how do we get control of our emotions, right? Our focus, our kind of being in the moment. And, we give them lots of tools and strategies. And a huge part, for your listeners, if you have not invested or tried or learned deep diaphragmatic belly breathing, please, please, please do it. It is the most effective, quickest way to really gain control back of your thoughts and emotions. And then you can try to figure out what you're going to do. And it is so powerful. It's awesome. I was super skeptic when I first learned about breathing. I was one of the last people to get on board. All my friends were like, yeah, dude, this stuff works. I'm like, no, no, no. And then when I did, I'm like, oh man, it's great. So we really just teach them those strategies, right, to regain control. Because honestly, when you feel in control of your thoughts and emotions and how you can respond to what happens, that is so powerful. So that's where we put a big focus. Then we go, okay, now let's dive a little bit into your purpose. That's our second pillar, is develop purpose. And, we often don't really know a lot of why we do something. We kind of have a general idea, but we really kind of harness it, right? So we dive deep into it, kind of go, what's that deep, meaningful purpose for you? And once they kind of recognize it, then we give them strategies to really harness it and use it to really help build that confidence, that motivation, and perseverance. And then we go, okay, third pillar is build perseverance. All players know how to persevere, right? Most of us, like, how many times just have you guys heard the phrase when you were playing, suck it up, push through it, you're fine, it's okay?
Quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we get, right? And again, like, that's a skill. That's a good thing to do, like push through. But what happens when it doesn't work? I know I kind of referenced that earlier. So we come in and say, okay, you can be more aware. Notice those spots where you get stuck, right? For some people, it's when I make a poor cross or miss a sitter, or, I lose the ball out of bounds on the sideline, coach yells at me, whatever it is. And there's certain things that can then make it really hard to keep going. So we help you recognize that. We give you a plan and go, okay, let's predict the challenges. Let's give you a plan for them. And then you practice it and practice over and over. So when you game, your brain's trained to kind of do it. And that last pillar is enhanced performance, right? Everybody wants to try to get their real skills and abilities out of them and even grow a little bit beyond. And so we really kind of help them learn some things that are key for that. And one thing I love is to talk about optimal performance versus peak performance. So peak performance, right, is that, like, okay, here's the top of the pyramid, and it's something we build to. We hope at game day we have that, but a lot of times we don't have peak performance because it's truly our best. And then we can go into the uh-oh mode and, well, I'm not really good enough, or I'm not adding to my team, and then we kind of go to a dark place, and our performance drops, our confidence lowers. So when we talk about optimal performance, how do you really lock in to go, okay, I may not be at the best. My ankle may be really bothering me. I'm kind of stressed about grades or a relationship or family. And so that's kind of taken away. So I'm not going to be at my best. But you know what? If I'm at about 80%, let's strive to get 100% out of that 80, right? And there's value in that. And if you can get players to buy into that, they don't fear not being at their peak. They can go, okay, today might not be that day, but I'm going to get as much out of me as I can. And when you focus on that and you reward yourself for it, then you're like, yeah, and you're ready to go for the next one.
Dr. Broad, I think
Yeah.
you may be very proud of me because I actually, do you know Scotty Schweitzer out of NC State? He runs Next Level Academy.
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's phenomenal, but he always would tell the kids, so it's academy from U7 to U12, and like these are these little kids, big-eyed, bushy tail, looking at them, and like he can always tell when they've had like EOGs or like these big tests, and he'll tell them, like, he'll say the exact thing. If you can give me 60% today, that's all you can give me, but give me 100% of that 60%. And it's actually interesting because I coach at CSU, and I was actually having the same exact conversation with my head coach about one of her girls kind of had a tweak. And I literally went up to her and told her the exact same thing. And she went, oh, okay. And she scored. So I think that's like my favorite. That is my favorite tool trick in the bag. Like, I love that one. I love it. I've obviously been to a lot of sports psychiatrists, but I love that one.
Well, I think what's so fascinating about that point too is that I have found in my career and a lot of conversation with other athletes is also just like normalizing those thoughts. I always now tell myself, like, thoughts are thoughts. And oftentimes I felt like in my career and in my life, I've let my thoughts take so much weight in my life and control me so deeply when I am actually in control, but I have convinced myself that I'm not. And I think normalizing that thought too, of like, we're humans too, right? We have the same issues. We have burdens outside of the sport. You are going to have days that are 70% and nothing is wrong with you. You are not mentally tough or not giving 100% if you can only give that 70. And I just think it's the work that you're doing is helping us as athletes normalize these thoughts and ideas, where I know for a lot of my life, the same way you can like, it becomes like one thing to the next. You're constantly, it's like one negative thought turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4, and on and on and on. Versus now it's like, okay, look, I'm having a bad thought. I'm recognizing that. and I don't feel like I'm on an island, I recognize that's normal. Like it's normal to have those kind of feelings.